Hey, listen to this. This is just a pleasure to read. Rudy Giuliani is being sued by Dominion Voting Systems over false election claims. The lawsuit against Rudy Giuliani is because he is accused of carrying out a, quote, viral disinformation campaign. Dominion Voting Systems has filed a defamation lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed this morning, and it's 107 pages long. It accuses not only Giuliani, as I mentioned, of carrying out a viral disinformation campaign about Dominion, it accuses him of putting out their demonstrably false allegations to enrich himself through legal fees and his podcast. And that's true. A big theme on his popular podcast for Rudy Giuliani was making false claims about Dominion voting systems. The suit is suing Rudy for $1.3 billion. Yeah, they're not going to get that. I know. And it makes it files this suit on the basis of 50 different statements that Rudy made at legislative hearings via tweets, as well as on his podcast and while being interviewed on conservative news media. Now, as you know, Rudy Giuliani was supposedly getting 20 grand a day to defend Donald Trump or represent Donald Trump in the election fraud bogus cases. We later learned that Donald Trump directed his team not to pay Rudy Giuliani, and we don't know if or how much of that 20 grand a day Rudy has actually been able to collect. But look at this. Does anybody feel sorry for Rudy? You throw your reputation away to peddle baseless conspiracy theories for Trump, which of course go nowhere. Trump ends up saying don't pay him. And now Rudy is going to accumulate significant legal fees because he's getting sued for the things that he said. Now, he should be sued. He should be disbarred. And in the end, he should be held accountable for his role in the insurrection, which now I don't just mean on the day of the insurrection saying, let's do trial by combat. That's bad enough. But I mean the 2 months that he spent ginning up anger over non-existent voter fraud claims with his hearings and his flatulence at the hearings and everything else. And you can actually make the case that Dominion Voting Systems has really been irreparably damaged by the false allegations. It is hard to think of a time where I would take the side of a corporation against an individual, but the Dominion Voting Systems name, any election that Dominion Voting Systems is involved in, you are going to have people who come out of the woodwork and claim fraud because of Dominion Voting Systems. These people, Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood and whoever, they really have destroyed the reputation of Dominion Voting Systems for no reason whatsoever. So we'll see what happens in these lawsuits. In terms of Rudy, listen, a lot of people continue to say Rudy was just compromised. That's why Rudy did all of these things. He was compromised. We don't yet know the full extent or the details, but he was. If Borat can get Rudy into the position Rudy found himself in, there's no doubt that professionals would be able to manipulate Rudy Giuliani. There's no question about that. And when you think about it, a lot of the actions from some of these Republicans can be explained by them being compromised. I'm not saying they are, but for example, Lauren Boebert owed or owes money to the IRS. That would often prevent people from getting a security clearance, but politicians are still able to run and get elected regardless. And it puts her in a position of being very easy to have over a barrel if the right people get involved. Rudy throwing away his reputation, had strong favorability as the mayor of New York City after 9/11. And that went away over the following years and then just completely imploding in terms of his reputation during the presidency of Donald Trump. Now, by the way, this should be exciting news for anybody who still believes there was evidence of election fraud, this lawsuit. What do I mean by that? If the lawsuit goes forward, the evidence that Rudy Giuliani and his cronies supposedly have about Dominion voting systems would come out in the discovery phase of the lawsuit. So for those of you, and I know that there are some of you still in my audience who think any day now the evidence will come out, this lawsuit against Rudy is the perfect opportunity to get all of that evidence of voter fraud out during the discovery phase. I'll be waiting. I look forward to seeing if we ever see that information. If you ever feel like you just don't have enough time to read all the books you want to read, you have to check out one of my favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist takes thousands of popular nonfiction books and distills each one down into an ebook or audiobook that you can get through in just 15 minutes, where you're getting all the key takeaways from the book. Just imagine how you'll be able to expand your horizons and knowledge by being able to soak up all of the important insights from 10 different books in an afternoon. Obviously, it's perfect for exposing yourself to a new book you otherwise wouldn't have time for, or you can use it to revisit a book you've already read, or use it to preview a book before you buy the full version and read it. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.